Read my books, Mark.
That can't be it. Where's the rest of it?
Alright, we need to have a dialogue. Invincible. Good show, right? Some may even say great show. I just love watching Mark get his ass kicked. And Alan getting his ass kicked, whoa. And the absolute beast known as Omni-Man getting his ass, wow. Steve Harvey is not playing. Invincible. It came onto the scene in 2021, gave us 8 episodes of straight bangers, and then dipped out for a year. But while we waited for season 2, Amazon announced that they picked up 2 more seasons so that the team could work on them back to back and ensure a much smaller gap in between seasons 2 and 3 when compared to seasons 1 and 2. Because shocker, animation takes time and is hard and is expensive. Plus, in the age of streaming, you're gonna wait at least a year for the next season of your show, no matter what medium it's in. So here we are in 2023, 2 years after season 1, and Prime is ready to roll out season 2. However, before the season even premieres, they made it public information that this season would be split up into 2 parts, with the first half running this fall and the second half running in early 2024. We knew this, right? So how come this past week, the mid-season finale drops? They announce a little break, and I'm gonna tell you guys exactly when the show's gonna come back. And instead of, chilling, maybe picking up the comic books, the internet explodes with fury and vitriol towards this show. And if you want examples, look no further than the modern-day town square, the internet's favorite hellhole, Twitter. I'm not calling it by that f***ing letter. A lot of people are not happy with this decision. Like, everything I'm about to read has tens of thousands of likes. This is not just a vocal minority. 8-episode seasons should not have mid-season breaks. This is ridiculous. Taking a break 4 episodes into an 8-episode season after a 2-year wait is how you lose hype. This is really annoying, I'm sorry. Not Invincible pulling an Attack on Titan.
So I am not here to threaten you. I'm here to kill you.
Sincerely, fuck you. Okay, this is funny. A lot of these are funny. I'm not gonna act like they aren't. 2 of the biggest tweets that actually have stirred up the most discourse are ones that are clearly jokes. They're just not good ones. Not meant to be taken seriously, and Twitter loves to take things at face value. But the number of likes these tweets have does reveal how a lot of consumers feel, in my opinion. Waited 3 years and still didn't even finish animating the whole season. This is what happens when you dorks cry for better working conditions for animators. Animators, can we take a mid-season break? The animating studios, if it was up to me. Animating studios? Again, I think these tweets should be taken in jest. I sincerely doubt people would be down with artists getting whipped to get their Ben 10 Gorefest, but I think the sentiment behind them is still pretty disrespectful to, frankly, the entire entertainment industry as a whole. Which is why you'll also find a lot of people who either work in animation or have a genuine appreciation for it firing back in the quote tweets. I don't like the fact that so many of y'all are upset that artists and animators need more time to complete the series. Crunch time and fast turnarounds are not good for the film and TV world, and it's especially not good for the many artists who are forced to work under those conditions. So complain all you want, but this is a good thing. Give people time to make great art. These comments, man. These comments. They really do think that animation is damn easy, don't they? Also, how dare artists actually be treated like human beings and not cogs in a machine? I love how people wanted fair treatment for animators until they got mildly inconvenienced. You people would have never survived Steven Universe's release schedule. Yo, facts! Personally, I think people have grown apathetic towards the entertainment industry as a whole. But there's so much that goes into that I'm not even gonna bother to try and unpack it here. But with all of this discourse, when is Invincible coming back anyway? How long is this break? We're talking February? March? April? It's 5 weeks. Turns out if your Fire Stick is jailbroken, it just transcends time and becomes God. And by that I mean, you get to see release dates early. And the rest of Season 2 is slated to run from January 4th to January 25th. It's just a 5-week break for the holidays, which, may I remind you, is pretty normal for television. I know we act like cable is a forgotten relic, so maybe it's hard to remember a time when shows took a month off and started right back up during the new year. However, I see y'all watching Abbott Elementary. I see y'all still watching new episodes of Family Guy, but you turn it off whenever your roommate walks into the room because you don't want to admit to it. That wasn't projection. I know this ain't the first time y'all have dealt with a mid-season break. I don't know, for all the complaining that we waited 2 years and comparing it to Attack on Titan's final season, the break only being 5 weeks makes the backlash look kinda goofy. Oh, but mid-season breaks were when shows still had 22 episodes. I don't care. I just don't care. Silly, silly, silly. I don't think this break even has anything to do with the animation. I think Prime just wanted a fucking break to spread out content. The homie Leah, who's been working on Invincible as the assistant animatic editor, implied that it actually had to do more with the strikes than it did animation not being finished. People in the comments must have forgotten about the strikes and the fact that the show wasn't greenlit for production as soon as they're assuming it was. It's 1 month, you can wait that long. And if you can't, that's a you problem. The Invincible 1 month hiatus discourse is hilarious to me because this is literally just how show premieres worked before streaming. The ability to binge has depleted people's patience, and it's wild to see people throw fits like children over a 1 month break. Robert Kirkman even touched on this in an interview. So we do know that we are getting season 2, but we're getting it in 2 parts. Is that a decision tied to the production process, or is there something about the season 2 storyline that you think will be benefited for having that break in between? It's a little bit of the production process just because ramping things up has taken a lot longer than we thought. But also, this is something that we've done with every season of The Walking Dead, and I think, narratively, it's kind of cool to have that pause to digest what you've just experienced. And when you see episode 4 of season 2, you may need a break. It's a big episode. It's definitely a mid-season finale kind of episode. And with everything going on in that time of year of Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and a lot of family time, I think a lot of shows get lost in the shuffle there. So I think it's good to take a pause. And narratively, it's gonna make things hit a little bit harder. And people will know what I'm talking about when the season launches. Fast forward 4 months later, we see what you mean, my guy. Though I don't think people are gonna wanna pause after seeing everything that just went down with Omni-Man. I get it, seasons are shorter. I truly feel for people there. I don't like shorter seasons. But are we pretending like Invincible isn't an hour-long animated show? Something that before Invincible was pretty unheard of. What, the new Scooby-Doo movies? You gonna count that, Dave? And again, we got an Adam Eve special, which was better than a lot of season 2 so far. And that's not a knock on season 2. I just think that was a really solid episode. So no matter how you spin it, the reaction is an overreaction because we got 5 hours worth of content this year from Invincible. And they just said, 5 weeks. Just give us 5 weeks and you get 4 more hours of content. And yeah, maybe they could have waited until the new year, but do you guys not see the business strategy here? I'm sure there are a lot of people who checked out season 1 who have not gotten around to season 2 yet. And of course, there are gonna be people who haven't watched the show, but have still consumed some clips on TikTok or shorts, reels, whatever the fuck. A cliffhanger like this is gonna have word of mouth do its thing and get a lot of people on board, catching up with Invincible over the break, and ideally for Prime Video, net a whole bunch of subscribers before season 2B. So now Amazon has set themselves up for 2024 to have a very strong start, because as soon as the new year begins, Invincible is on the scene, viewership will be up, and subscriptions will be up. And then they can ride the momentum of Invincible Season 2 into The Boys Season 4. And all of this is gonna look real good to investors. All of that isn't to say, oh, the hiatus is good because Lex Luthor is gonna benefit from it. No, I'm just saying, on top of this being routine, you should be able to recognize the financial incentive they probably have in this. So yes, just sit tight for 5 weeks. Less than that by the time this video is up. If you can do that, Invincible Season 2 will be here before you know it. Personally, I'm fine with the break because again, it's just a month. Shafrillis was right. You wouldn't have survived Steven Universe. You wouldn't survive reading the Chainsaw Man manga. We get chapters like every 2 weeks right now. And sometimes they're like, what, 3 pages? Get into other things. Pick up a book, preferably the Invincible comic book. And one more thing. A purple baby who's the son of Omni-Man? Sorry, Nolan, but I watched Infinity War. I already know how this is gonna go down. Let that baby step out of line once and they're sicking Rhodey on him.